Have you ever looked at the food label, count the calories perfectly, and still wonder why losing weight feels so confusing? If calories were just numbers, the math should be simple. Eat fewer calories than you burn and the weight should drop. But here is the twist. Your body doesn't experience food the way a nutrition label describes it. This calories number come from a system created in 1890s by literally burning food in a lab. The problem is that your metabolism isn't a furnace. The way food is structured, processed, and eaten can change how many calories your body actually absorbs. In fact, two foods with the same calories on the label can behave very differently inside your body.
Label Believer asks, if calories are just numbers on the label, why is losing weight still so confusing?
Because modern food isn't just food anymore. It's engineered. Many ultra-processed foods are designed to be incredibly easy to eat and extremely rewarding to the brain. They combine sugar, fat, salt, and texture in ways that make them difficult to stop eating. Decades ago, obesity rates were dramatically lower. Today, despite gym, fitness apps, and more nutrition knowledge than ever, a large portion of the population struggles with weight. What changed most wasn't human discipline, it was the food environment. Highly processed foods are everywhere affordable, convenient, and engineered for pleasure. When the environment constantly pushes hyper-palatable food, managed weight becomes less about personal failure and more about understanding the system we are living in.
Calorie Counter Confused asks, are the calories on food labels actually accurate?
Not exactly. They are estimate based on method developed more than a century ago, called the Atwater system. Scientists calculate calories by burning food in a device called a calorimeter and measure the heat release. That tells us how much energy the food contains, but it doesn't perfectly reflect what happens inside the human digestive system. Digestion is far more complex. Depending on how food is structured, your body might absorb significantly more or fewer calories than the label suggests. A famous example involves almonds. Nutrition's label estimates around 108 calories per serve, but when are eaten whole, research shows the body might absorb close to about 120 calories because some fat remains trapped inside the nut's cellular structure.
Food Structure Geek asks, wait, how can the structure of food change how many calories I absorb?
Because whole foods have natural architecture. Many plant foods contain microscopic cell walls that trap nutrients during digestion. When foods stay intact, like whole grains, beans, nuts, or legumes, some calories remain locked inside these cells and pass through the digestive system without being fully absorbed. But when foods are ground, refined, or heavily processed, these cells walls break open. Suddenly, all these calories become easily accessible. Modern food processing often does exactly that, breaking food structure down to make products smoother, softer, and fast to digest. The result is calorie entering the body more quickly and efficiently. Whole foods slow digestion naturally, while processed food remove those natural barriers.
Salad Before Pizza asks, is it true that eating vegetables before a meal can make you eat less overall?
Yes, and the effect can be surprisingly powerful. In one study, research served participants a large pasta meal containing about 900 calories. In another test, participants first ate a small salad with about 100 calories before receiving the exact same pasta. Logically, you might expect the total intake to increase to about 1000 calories. But the opposite happened. Participants who started with salad actually ate less pasta and consumed roughly 200 fewer calories overall. The vegetables add fiber, water, and volume that activate foodness signal earlier. By the time the pasta arrived, their brain were already beginning to resist satiety. This simple strategy, starting meals with low-calorie vegetables, can naturally reduce how much heavier food people end up eating.
Nut Butter Mystery asks, why do whole nuts make me feel fuller than nut butter or smoothies?
Because processing changes how food behaves inside your body. Whole nuts still contain intact plant cells that trap some of their natural oils. If these cells remain partially intact during digestion, some fats stay locked inside and pass through the digestive system unabsorbed. But when nuts are ground into spreads like peanut butter or almond butter, those structures break apart completely. Now, the fats are fully available and much easier for your body to absorb. A similar effect happens with fruit. Eating a whole apple requires chewing and digestion time. Blend that apple into smooth, and the fiber network gets disrupted, making it easy to drink quickly and often less satisfying for your appetite.
Speed Eating Champion asks, does eating fast really make people eat more?
Yes, and your brain's timing plays a big role. It takes roughly 20 minutes for signals from the stomach to reach the brain and say, "We are satisfied." If you eat quickly, you can consume a large portion before that signal even arrives. Study suggests that people who chew more slowly might naturally eat about 10 to 20% fewer calories. Slower eating also increases something called thermogenesis, the small amount of energy your body uses to digest food. Liquids and ultra-soft foods require less digestion, meaning the body spends less energy processing them. Eating slowly gives your brain enough time to catch up with your stomach, which helps prevent overeating. So the big takeaway is powerful. Weight management isn't only about how much you eat, it's also how food is structured, processed, and consumed. Whole foods like legumes, fruits, nuts, and intact grains maintain their natural architecture, slowing digestion and naturally limiting how many calories your body absorbs. Highly processed foods break these structures apart, making calories easy to absorb and easier to overeat. Simple habits like starting meals with vegetables, choosing whole foods, and eating more slowly can dramatically improve appetite control without obsessing over calorie count. If this changed the way you're thinking about nutrition and metabolism, subscribe to Hugo BioHack for more science-based insights on health, performance, and biohacking. And share this with someone who still believes weight loss is only about willpower.